Hi, so today I want to talk to you about a new collection of books that's just recently started being published in 2023. As you can tell from my shelves behind me, I love a collection of books. I love matching spines, I love an aesthetic, I just love all the colours being together, and I also love knowing what to expect from a book, what the introductions would be like, what the font's going to be like, what the quality of the book's going to be like. So nobody does that better, in my opinion, than Penguin, and today I want to talk to you about their brand new collection of modern classics, and it is their Crime and Espionage series. So far I own 6 of these, and there's 30 already out, so this is the perfect time to jump in if you also love collecting series and you don't know about these. I'm going to talk to them about them today. So far, out of these 6, I have read 3 of them, and I've just recently got another 3, so I'm really excited to talk about these today because they are great books. And I also have only just recently started discovering a love for the crime genre. I have dabbled in it here and there throughout the years, obviously, but it's only this year when I done a little university course, a little part-time one on it, that I realised that it actually is a lot of fun. And yeah, so I'm really excited to talk about these books, to show you what ones I have, show you the covers and everything about them. The covers are gorgeous, and I hope you enjoy. I also know that it's been a long time since I've done any sort of collection tours for my other books, so if you would like to get an update on my book collection, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm going to start talking to you now about the Penguin Modern Classics Crime and Espionage series. So if you enjoy this video, please leave a like and please subscribe. So let's start by talking about the series as a whole. As I said, there's 30 out right now, so realistically, if you had the money, you could own all 30. Personally, I don't have that type of money. I buy 1 or 2 books at a time, but as you can see, they look absolutely gorgeous together. They're all the same green. They all just stand out on a shelf. They're so bright. When I only owned 1 of them, which the first one I owned was the Franchise Affair, I was like, okay, this is so bright compared to a lot of my other books, but once you have them together, I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And then what is also so impressive to me, and I absolutely love, and I really hope that continues, all of the covers were designed by the same person. So Matthew Young designed all the covers for all of the books, and I'll just flick through them quickly. As you can see, they all kind of have the same theme. They all have a lot of details related to the plots of their books, but they're all green, they're all white, and this is my favourite. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I just love the cover. I think the greens pop so beautifully. And yeah, this one's a little bit more boring, but I just think every cover has something to them, and I absolutely just love the way they all look together. I love them up together on the shelf, and I think that they're just the typical quality that you expect from a Penguin Modern Classic. There's no introduction for the most part in them, not that I've come across so far anyway, out of the 3 that I've read, but I don't really mind that. Typically I skip introductions anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really read introductions, but the quality of the paper is all amazing, the book quality is amazing, the font is all, you know, just your standard size that you would want for a Penguin book, you know, just that medium lovely size for reading. And yeah, I just think these all look so nice together. And what is also really cool is that Penguin has a history of the green colour with their crime series. Going back to the 1930s, their crime books were always published with different shades of green. So this is a lot of brighter green than the older books. The older books are more close to my t-shirt, but I just think that's so nice that they're carrying on that tradition and continuing with the green theme. I just realised I've been completely lying. I've been saying I've read 3 of them so far. I've actually only read 2, so I'm going to talk about the 2 that I've read, and both of them were so good. So the first one was The Franchise Affair by Josephine Tay. She was a Scottish author, and I read one of her books, not this one, for my university class that I'd done. It was just a little 10-week course. I love doing things like that. And I really fell in love with her writing. I think she's really interesting. And I have to say, none of her books have blew me away so far, but they've both been really different, and I really like that. So The Franchise Affair is about these 2 women who live in this old kind of rural mansion, not a mansion, but a bigger house, called The Franchise, and they are accused by a young girl of kidnapping the girl and holding her hostage in their attic. And the girl can list off so many details about their house and about the woman that it kind of seems like there's no explanation other than they were guilty, but the detective has a feeling that something else is afoot. So that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed reading this. It didn't blow me away. I think that the mystery was not the most mysterious. I don't know. There's not too many twists and turns you might expect, but it was just really well written. The characters were interesting, the franchise was an interesting location, so I did enjoy this. And I have another one of her books that I want to read, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, The Franchise Affair was good. Didn't love it, but I still really enjoyed it. On the other hand though, In a Lonely Place by Dorothy B. Hughes, this is perhaps one of my favourite books of the year. It might even be my top 3. I have to look at what else I've read this year, but this blew me away. So what was so different about this book is that it was actually told from the killer's perspective, and you know that right from the start, I think pretty much page 1, you realise that you're following the killer. So instead of your typical mystery book where you are with the detective trying to find the killer, there's all the suspects, you don't know who to trust, who not to, this completely turns it all on its head. You are following the killer, they know they're the killer, obviously, and they are playing with the police. One of the detectives investigating the case is the killer's best friend, so he's toying with them, he's leaving false clues, he's just getting, you know, in their minds and really inserting himself in the investigation to try and lead them off his trail. And I thought it was so clever. I absolutely just loved the way it was written. It just had the kind of like old Hollywood noir vibes. I just thought it was so clever the way that it was all done. So if you're looking for a recommendation for a first book to buy from this series, In a Lonely Place by Dorothy B. Hughes, I really don't think you could go wrong with. I'm going to briefly talk about the 4 books I own but I haven't read yet. I'm not going to read off the blurb, I'm just going to try and wing this. So if the descriptions are wrong, it's not my fault, okay? I'm trying not to read off the back because I hate when people do it. I've done it before in the past, but I hate when people do it in videos. So the first one is Beast in the Shadows by Edogawa Rampo, and this is a Japanese author, and this is about a crime novelist, very meta, who meets a woman, they kind of fall in love, but then her ex starts sending threatening letters, so he tries to put a stop to it. And this is a really thin one, so I think I'll fly through this, although I've said that before in the past, and it's took me a week to get through a book, so anyway. The next one is Cotton Comes to Harlem by Chester Himes, and from what I gather, this is about a con man in Harlem who is scamming all the poor people out of their money, out of all their savings. The detective is trying to stop him. There's a bit of a theme going on here. The next one is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I've actually never read anything by Shirley Jackson. I can't believe I'm admitting that because she is so famous and she's a bit of a horror author and I love horror, but you know, it's a blind spot for me, so I really need to change that. I'm looking forward to this one. This is about a family and the whole family is poisoned apart from 2 sisters. They try and live quiet lives after that, but then one day a cousin turns up out of the blue demanding money and the plot develops from there. And the 4th one is by my good friend Josephine Kate, and this book is about a young boy who is offered money to impersonate someone else. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure the details, but he is. So he says yes, obviously. He wants to go along with the money, he has a good resemblance with the boy that he's impersonating, but then things take a dark turn. So that's 4 books that I haven't read so far, but all of them sound so good, I'm so excited to get to all of them, and none of them are very big, which I have not been reading much this year. You might have noticed there's been a lack of videos from me, and it's because my reading is just like taking a downward spiral. All the books I'm reading are good. I probably should talk about them, but I'm just not reading like I used to. I used to read a book like every 2 days. We are not in that lifestyle anymore, but all these sound so good and I'm so excited to get to all of them, and hopefully when I do, I'll talk about them on YouTube. I hope that if you had not heard of this series before, you have now. I hope I've encouraged you to give them a shot. I have really enjoyed the 2 books that I've read so far. Obviously the Dorothy B. Hughes ones is just like, it was amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. I will definitely be talking about it in some more videos in the near future, hopefully. Look at the pretty spines, look at the pretty covers, tell me you don't want to own these, and you know, the great thing about modern classics is that for the most part, they do read, you know, really modern, the keyword being modern, great gateway to get into some older books, and there's a lot there to love. All of the tropes and themes from recent books that you might have read or might have loved, they all go back to these, so if you haven't read any of them, I would give them a shot. Take a chance on an older book if you're someone that always reads more recent releases. So yeah, I am so excited to get to all of these that I haven't read so far. There's another one I definitely want to get, and it is From Russia with Love by Ian Fleming. It is a James Bond book. I've never read anything related to James Bond, and another confession here, I've never seen a James Bond film, but I think that if I read that book, then it would then give me like a little kick to get into the films, because obviously the films are absolute classics, people love them for a reason. I've just never give them a shot. Definitely expect to see more reviews on these books soon. Follow me on Goodreads if you don't already. I still update my Goodreads every time I read a book, write a decent little review on there. So even if I'm not on YouTube as much anymore, I am still reading, I am still reviewing, it's just on Goodreads, but I do plan to make more videos soon. Again, more famous last words. How many times have I said that in the past? But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it's been interesting and I've introduced you to some new books. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, please subscribe. I do have some more plans for some new videos soon. Without any further ado, I will say goodbye. Thank you for watching.